What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the garage. Today you're going to have to bear with me if I sound a little funny. I'm getting over kind of a head cold sinus thing, so it may sound a little funny, but we'll get through this. And today we're going to be taking a look at the Inkerma DM-262. This is a super handy device, and it is a bilateral laser measuring tool that measures out both ends, one end, whatever you need it to do. It's got a ton of built-in features and functions that are super handy to have around the shop. I do want to start off by saying that Inkerma did send this to me for the purpose of doing a few videos at no charge. I've had an Amazon video for this product for quite a while. Now it's time to get this YouTube one done and in the book. So let's take a look at this thing. I want to start off by showing its basic function. We're not going to get into every single function this thing has because there's just a ton of them. But at the most basic level, it's a laser measuring tool. And it measures out both ends and takes into account the body of the tool, and then it'll add those together and give you a total measurement. So let me take a quick measurement here in the garage so you can see just how easy it is. We're going to go ahead and turn it on. It takes it a second to get to the display. Then all you do is press this top button here and it will take a measurement. So we got our measurement of 9.27 feet, and that's taking these top two measurements of 5 and change and 3 and change together to get that measurement. So as you can see, it's super handy for measuring top to bottom distances. Basically, you need something for this to hit on either end. So you can't just kind of open air measure something. You do have to have a point for the laser to hit and bounce back for this to measure it. So just keep that in mind while you're using this tool. But that is correct for in here. This is a garage with 9-foot ceilings. That's good. It's worked well. I've used it a bit to do some repeated measurements here, and it's been very, very accurate. That's its base function. You can set this up to go out one end, both ends. It's also got a built-in angle finder, so you can use this as a level as well. This screen will rotate, so you can use it sideways, which is very, very handy also. I just recently used this here in the garage to run some Cat 5 or Cat 6 cable from my server rack all the way back over here to the workbench. And I used this to estimate how much cable I would need, because it would have been kind of a pain to measure with a tape measure in traditional measuring tools. So this worked super handy. I could stand kind of in the middle of the garage and measure from point to point, up and down, and then back over here to the workbench, and came out with a good number, and it seemed to be pretty accurate. Now that wasn't critical, obviously, because I got a little bit longer cable anyways, but it was handy to not over purchase cable or under purchase and not be able to complete the project. This is a great tool for framing and estimating materials and things like that. I don't know that I would use this to make a cut list for something like, say, a cabinet or some fine piece of furniture. And there's going to be a little bit of variation because you may not always be holding still or perfectly up and down. I mean, you can use the built-in level to do that, auto powered off because I'm talking too long. But let's get into some of these other features here. Here you can see where it would add those two measurements together and give you a total measurement at the bottom here. We'll go ahead and test that real quick. So here's a measurement just from the table to the ceiling, just for the sake of showing you what this display looks like. And you can see here you've got the top number is what comes out the top of this tool, the bottom is what comes out the bottom, and then that totals it up here. This will also do addition and subtraction, so you can measure a couple things at once and it will add them up together and give you a total, but you can also subtract measurements as well if you need to do that. And that's all in the menu here. There is a manual that comes with this that is very detailed. I highly suggest if you get one of these, go ahead and read through that and kind of figure out how all the functions work and how to get to them, because these buttons are labeled well if you know what they do, but if you're not sure what they do, then it can be kind of confusing to find what you're looking for. So these are also buttons that have a short press and a long press function. So if you press this one, that's how you change it to your sideways display, and now you can use it in a horizontal fashion, and everything just rotates and it does adjust to take up the rest of this screen. So if you hold this button down, it will change to just a large measurement readout. So let me get a quick measurement here, and we'll hold this down. Gotta do it again. That'll give you just a large one measurement display without having the two added together on the screen. This button here will allow you to either add, you can see the plus sign, or if you hold it down, it will change your units of measure. And so there's metric and standard, and then there's a few different ways those are displayed depending on your preference. So you can do just inches, you can get into the metric system. This is the one I typically use. However, there are other options in here. So this button here, if you do a short press, will get you into the menu. And this is where, I gotta try and hold this at a bit of an angle so that it shows up. This is where all your other functions are gonna be. So this is out both ends, this is out one side. This will calculate area with this function here. It'll do volume, different angle calculators. It'll also do the Pythagorean theorem. So if you can only get two measurements and need to know that third side, this will calculate that for you. So like I said, a ton of super handy features built into this device. Just read the manual, look it over, so that at least you know what all these icons do. That way when you go through these menus, you'll be able to find what you're looking for and know that it can help you with certain things, because if you think it just measures, you're going to be missing out on a lot of the features that this has. That's kind of this unit in a nutshell. I know I didn't go very deep into some of these menus. I'll be quite honest, I haven't used a few of the features myself yet because I haven't had a need to do that. However, I would trust this after using it here in the garage to measure a few things and repeated measurements. I would trust this down to like a 16th to an 1/8 of an inch. I don't think I would use this on any sort of furniture or fine woodworking type projects. There's a lot of human error that can be transferred into this tool if you're not paying attention. So for that, I think I would still want to use a regular tape measure. Now, if you're looking to rough cut framing and stuff like that, or measure out a estimate of materials for something, this is a fantastic tool. It's way faster than running a tape, way easier if you're by yourself, as long as you've got some endpoint for this to stop on. So for that application, this is fantastic. And if you're curious about how high things are off the ground and want to do the Pythagorean theorem feature, that works well for getting an estimate of how high like the eave of your house or something is off the ground without having to try and get a tape measure or some other form of measurement up there. So definitely has a lot of great applications, is super handy. One thing that I do wish this came with, that it does not, is some way to mount this on a tripod. If you could mount this on a tripod, this would be a way more accurate form of measuring, because it would be in a fixed position all of the time. So I don't know, I haven't opened this obviously to see what the internals look like, so I don't know if there's not room for a tripod socket, but if there isn't, they could have at least included a mount for it that would, you know, clamp on the sides like a cell phone mount or something. And I'm sure you could come up with something that would hold this just fine. It's just, that's a feature that I feel like should have been included with this product. Other than that, I think it's great, and I will continue to use this quite a bit around the house and shop here. Once again, links for this will be in the description below if you want to check this out for yourself. I highly recommend it if you do a lot of large work, framing work, and things like that.